Welcome back to another video with SirLucien on Ark Survival Evolved. And I thought today, I just was kind of sitting around thinking about if I wanted to start on a server and I was thinking about a starter house, what are some of the designs I might want to make? And one of the things that kind of intrigued me was the idea of the treehouse. So like the original one I made over this way, don't mind all the glare there a second. Let's run back over here. So originally when I made this, I built this little fort around this tree, and I thought, okay, so that, that was the first kind of idea I'd had, but it didn't really come out to be like a tree house. It's more like a fort that's built around a tree. And I thought, what if I could build a better tree house or something that would be, you know, more like a treehouse. So I thought that's what I would do in today's episode, a building episode, and just kind of think about a possible starter house. And I might do a few more of these here and there where I think about different styles of beginner house, because just like in Minecraft, I remember when originally Minecraft had come out, you know, when it was new, everybody's idea was to, you know, you just you dig a hole, right? And your house is basically a dirt hole because you got to worry about the nighttime, and building a big house requires getting a lot of materials. And in the very beginning, you don't have a lot of materials and you need to be safe. So, you know, everybody was making like little dirt homes. And then eventually you might make a little square home pretty quick. But I always like to think about, if I'm going to start off, I'm not just going to build something that everybody else builds. So like in Ark, what does everybody build? Everybody builds, you know, a shack of thatch, basically. Usually 4x4, you know, not too big, not too glamorous, nothing too sharp to it. Although there are some people out there that take their time and build even a good-looking thatch house. I thought, what's a different style we could do? So this does require you to be leveled up because you're going to need some of these wooden structures. So it's not necessarily something you can do right when you start on the server, but it could be one of your first permanent homes that you're building towards. And I thought I would try to do something that's like a tree house. So I picked a bigger tree this time. And what I want to do is I want to build around it and kind of make a nice little home out of it while I do it. So I'll probably cut in and out. You guys probably don't want to see the whole thing of me gathering wood and then putting it up. But let me go ahead and finish the first layer here. I'll bring it back in and we'll discuss a little bit more about my ideas on what I'm going to do with this type of house and why I like it. Now this would be a PvE version. PvP servers, you could build something like this, but it would be vulnerable to somebody attacking it and destroying it. So you'd want to be kind of careful there. So this is kind of going to be a PvE design, or at least a design where you feel like you're pretty safe. All right, so let me continue gathering on. We're going to go ahead and fill out our first layer here, and then I'll bring you back in. So stay tuned. All right, and we've got our first layer complete. Let's go ahead and take a look. So a couple things to keep in mind. One of the reasons you have this layer is to hopefully keep things from knocking down the interior tree. Doesn't mean that it won't happen, but by having an outer barrier here, hopefully that will keep things like, you know, the Brontos and the Paraceratheriums and things like that from being able to knock over your tree, which is the whole reason you built your tree house. Another thing to keep in mind, you have a natural kind of dino garage here in the bottom for, you know, those beginning level dinosaurs that you're going to have are mammals. Wolves, saber-tooths can fit in here. You probably can fit a trike in here. About as big as you can go. As you can see, a mammoth probably would not unless you went higher. But then again, a mammoth might not fit between those two either, these two pillars. So, but you still have plenty of room where you could build, you know, your larger dinosaur pen near this. But it does allow you to kind of secure this under area for, you know, the smaller dinos that you might have. Parasaurs, Sarcos maybe. I don't know what else you might have. all your Dilos raptors for sure, that kind of thing. Doedicurus, Ankylos, and so on and so on. This level here is going to be a kind of a deck level. So you could put your working station here. So on the first level it could be all your workstation stuff. So you might put your forges, you might put your work tables, anything you might need, your regular tables and chairs, or even mortar and pestles, those kinds of things could all be located here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and build up one more level, and that's going to be the actual enclosed area where maybe your bed is and maybe some of your storage. You might have some storage down here too that you can get to, but you might have some other storage up higher that's a little bit safer from anything else getting to it. So that's kind of the idea behind the treehouse. What I like about it is just some other things that it fits with the terrain. So you're building a house or dwelling to kind of fit in with the terrain. It doesn't just sit out in the open. The idea is that you want to leave a lot of the trees and you want to leave a lot of rocks and things around it to give it that natural feel. So if you're going to be gathering materials for this, you want to make sure you're going far enough away that that stuff's going to regrow, because this stuff, now that there are pillars here, will not regrow if you chop it down. So I want to leave a lot of these things here just to give me some natural cover, some natural camouflage, some ambience to the place that I'm actually living. And it's just kind of a, aesthetically, even though it's still a square at this point, we're going to add some other features to it to make it, offset. And then it just has a little bit more of a feeling to it than just maybe a square 4x4 house that you might have. So let me go ahead and continue on building the upper level, and maybe we'll put some extra things in. It does get dark when you're in the woods like these things, so you want to go ahead and make sure your light sources. Standing torches are okay. They don't give off a ton of light, but it's not too bad. You could always put in the gel from the anglerfish to maybe make them burn a little brighter. You could use campfires down here also, would be another option. Campfires put off more light than standing torches or wall torches. And then, you could also put on, the wall torches too for light, or you could electrify it at some point and use generators and such to go ahead and give you quite a bit more light. If you pick let's talk about the tree to pick here. So in these woods or in the forests or in the jungles, you'll find lots of different varying trees, and you just want to pick the one that's going to suit your building style the most and clear out around it. So in this case, I found the two-fork tree was a pretty nice tree because it gave a lot of top cover, which I liked. But you could go with one that's maybe taller and straighter, so you could get a higher type tree house. That would work pretty well. The other types of trees that could work well, but it would be a smaller type of tree house. Again, it would be more like a fort built around the tree. Would be right over here, and you'll find that's the two-fork. This style of tree here, this big tree. So you get a lot of tree cover over the top, and you could, get maybe one or two off the ground. You wouldn't be very high off the ground, but you could build around it and build out much wider from it. That's the same type of tree that I have over in the very first building back over that way. So just some ideas. So let me build up a little bit more of our tree house here, and then we'll call it good. And this will be just a treehouse design for you guys to take a look at and to think about. And then we'll probably have more different designs, things like cliff dwellings or stuff in water, swamp houses, all those kinds of things. I just want to sometimes kind of put into the series some other building ideas and building tips and things like that. So you could also have spent the time to make sure that all of your pillars don't show through the top. And I did choose wood on purpose here because I thought the wood fit with the tree house style more than I want to use stone, although you could use stone or metal would be just fine also. If you're on a PvE server, a metal house like this could be pretty good. Put in several pillars, make it easy to structurally fortify it, make it hard to tear down, which would be nice. And I put in our Procoptodon here just to show you that's a pretty big creature, mid-sized creature, so you can see it can fit underneath here too. All right, let me finish up some building and I'll bring you guys right back in. All right, and we got the top level a little bit done. Just an idea. You can go a lot of different creative ways with the next level. But basically, let's jump out over here, take a look at it. As you can see, so pretty simple. As you can see, it's starting to get a little dark. Let's get our torches. I think we needed some. Okay, good. Make sure all our torches are burning here. Oh, my torch is dead. That should be good. We got enough for this now? There we go. Okay. And turn my torch back on. Perfect. Let's go back upstairs. So as you can see, as soon as you get up high enough in the tree, the bounding box kind of starts to turn off, so you can kind of build into the tree, but that's not true towards the base. So just keep that in mind when you're building some type of tree house. This is a really open air area, so this could all be workspace area, storage area. And then up here we can put in, we would furnish it probably with a bed, more storage, more important storage, trophies or things we don't want to lose up in this area. And you could make this bigger if your needs felt like it needed bigger. You could go with a deck all the way around if you wanted to. I went pretty simple. I could have continued the tiered roof if I wanted to also, but I thought that was far enough. I just want to show you an example here too. This is just a ramp that you could use. You leave it hollow to have more storage area if you want. Close it in if you think it looks better. If you don't like this ramp style, you could use the other two ramps. You'll have a little bit of cut through if you were to go the two regular ramps down this way. Or you could make sure that you have at least three blocks wide, I guess, 3 foundations wide. And then you can make sure you can make that look a little better, or you could go with ladders, just like I did down here. Ladders and hatches would work just as well. So sloped roofs, ramps, those kinds of things would all work pretty good. Maybe one day we'll get something like a rope ladder, which would be really cool. And if we could ever get rope bridges, which I have seen some mods out there that have that, but if they ever put in the game a rope bridge, then you could tie several of these together. So you could go from this treehouse to maybe another treehouse over there using a rope bridge in between. That would be pretty sweet. So kind of like the Swiss Family Robinson kind of house or home, or a treehouse. So I hope you guys liked it. Just trying to give you some ideas. It's obviously not finished. There's a couple of things you could do to it, but I just wanted to give you an idea visually, and then maybe you can come up with your own ideas on how you want yours to look. This came out pretty cool, so if I ever had to start over again, this might be the way I would go. Although I've liked a lot of the buildings I've made, so I'd have a hard time choosing the different styles that I was going to make. All right, so that's about it for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you hit that like button. Hope you hit the subscribe button. Go ahead down in the comments, put in what you think about it, or maybe some designs you guys have tried or designs you'd like me to try out. All those kinds of good conversations. That's exactly what the comments area is for. Hope to see you again. Thanks for joining. Bye-bye.